Good afternoon and congratulations. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Maybe this is your first time to be connected with Lehman College. So great to have you here, and I hope you're planning to join us in the fall. So Lehman College is a campus community that is distinct, and there are a lot of reasons why I think you're going to love being at Lehman College. You're going to get a high quality education. It's a beautiful campus, particularly right now, but through all the seasons of the year. And it's affordable. Affordable, and yet with award-winning faculty and great fellow students. Many Lehman alumni have used their education to improve their job career prospects and to move into fields ranging from politics to education to nursing and the health professions and many others. We have dozens of majors. Lehman College has a new program that started this past spring, which will be continuing in the fall with a not-for-profit organization, Braven. And with that, we are setting up mentorships with individuals who are working in major corporations around New York City. These mentorships last for well over a year. There's a special course we're offering to prepare you as you're nearing the end of your degree program to go out and look for jobs and apply for jobs and be prepared the best you can be for that. Lehman also has a very big business program, and we have a new course that we'll be starting in the fall on real estate. It's the first time we've done that, and we think that is going to be a really important new area for some students. Lehman also is a top producing both Gilman Scholarship School, but also a Fulbright School. Those are national awards that our students are regularly winning, and I hope that you will look at that program and think about applying for those as well. So many of you be among the about 3,000 new students, freshmen and transfer students that will be coming to Lehman College this fall. Before the pandemic, already Lehman was offering 20% of its courses online, and now that, of course, is going to be a greater percentage. Lehman has the 4th-ranked BSRN program, online program. It has the number 1-ranked BSN-RN program in New York State, and it is 4th in New York State for all of our online offerings. So again, I want to welcome you to Lehman College. We're ready for you. We'll make sure that you have a great opportunity, the opportunities that you deserve to earn your degree, get your education, and then move out, whether it's on to further study or whether it's in the job you already have or it's a new job. We're going to help you do that. So if you haven't already done so, you should see an advisor so that you can register for classes for this fall. Take advantage of all the campus services that we have. They're available for you virtually, online, and you can find those posted on our website, lehman.edu. But we can also include those links in this afternoon's session. So I wanted to start with some questions that came in ahead of time. And I'll answer those, and then I'm going to just catch the questions that are coming in that are related to these questions or that are new questions, things that are on your mind. So first of all, here's a question: will Lehman College start in the fall? When will it start in the fall semester? So we're on our regular calendar. We haven't changed our calendar. So regardless of how many classes are online at Lehman College in the fall, we're going to start on August 26th of fall 2020. Here's another question: will we be returning to campus for in-person classes for the fall semester? Will campus be open for the upcoming fall semester? How will classes work in the fall? So sorry, I had to pause there for a moment. Not sure what's happening with our connection there. Hopefully that we'll keep it now. So we don't know exactly how the fall term is going to work. The fall term will be partly determined by what the New York State Department of Health tells us we can do in terms of having people on campus, both faculty, staff, and students. But we know for sure that we're going to have a full course offering of classes. Those are already listed. You can register for those, and I hope you will be registering for those now. We will possibly offer some classes on campus. There are some classes that will work best on campus, but we know that however we do the fall term, we're going to do it in a way that maximizes the courses so that they're available for you and that you will be able to get the courses that you need. And what we will do, as soon as we're sure what the New York State Department of Health is telling us about opening, and then of course we're within a bigger university, we're within the City University of New York, CUNY, which will have its own set of guidelines, and then within that, Lehman College will develop its own way of doing the fall term. And as soon as we have all those things together, we'll be letting you know via our website and other communications so that you'll know exactly how the fall term is going to be. But one thing I want you to remember is that no matter how we do it, we're going to offer the courses that you need, and you're going to be able to begin your academic program at Lehman College so that you can move towards a degree. So here's another question. Will the Apex be open? The Apex is our really great sports facility with swimming pool and gyms and exercise rooms and dance rooms and squash courts and other things. And it's been closed during the pandemic since March. It's going to remain closed through the summer, and it will probably remain closed through the fall. But again, we will see what we're able to do. There's so much that is unpredictable right now. Fortunately, right now, New York State has the lowest incidence of COVID-19 in the entire country. But we have to be very watchful, and we will see. As soon as we're able to get those facilities available, they will be. Do current students with loaned laptops or loaner devices get an extension to return them if they're planning to take summer classes? Absolutely. If you're taking summer classes and you have let the campus know that you're doing that, you keep that loaner. If you're continuing into the fall, or if you're coming in new for the fall, or you had a loaner from the spring, didn't take summer, but you're going to be taking classes in the fall, yes, you can continue to use that computer into the fall term. How do you return laptops to the school if the campus is closed? So graduating students and students who are not continuing at Lehman need to return those loaner devices after receiving a UPS pickup notice. It'll be sent to you at your address, whatever that was at the end of the semester, June for the spring 2020 semester. So you will not have to come to campus to bring that computer back. It will be, you will send it back in via UPS. You'll be getting the label from the campus. The when do freshmen take their placement tests? So we no longer are holding placement tests, and as the student proficiency is determined, students are admitted. CUNY is using a different system now for that. So once you commit, our advisement team will, that is, once you commit to come to Lehman College, our advisement team will connect by a virtual meeting, and they will help you determine your class placement, your schedule, and they will help you with registration for the fall term. So any dates set for CUNY on the concourse testing opening up? No dates set yet. We hope we'll have some idea about that in the coming weeks as New York City opens. All the educational institutions in New York City are in the fourth phase of opening. Each phase takes about 2 weeks. So that would be another month yet before we would probably know whether New York City is progressing. Hopefully and we're able to progress into phase 4. At that time, then, we will be able to let you know about what's happening at CUNY on the Concourse. For those of you who don't know, CUNY on the Concourse is a satellite facility of the campus over in the Grand Concourse, where there are many courses taught, particularly certifications, licensing, and professional development courses. So, is there any news for in-person graduation? No news yet. I think this my answer is going to be a little repetitive on this because, again, we don't know what's going to happen in the fall in terms of overall the whole city, what kind of gatherings will be possible and how we will be able to do those in a safe way. Every place, every institution in New York City and in New York State is a little bit different just because of the way their physical environment is, the kinds of rooms they have, the spacing that they can create, the kinds of airflow they have in those facilities. So having an in-person graduation or some kind of in-person ceremony really depends on our ability to do that in a safe way. And even if it's outdoors, it has to be done in a safe way. So we're waiting yet to see how we might do that and how we might organize that in a way that doesn't put anybody at risk. Because the number one thing we're concerned about is keeping everybody safe. Then, of course, we really do want to have something in person so that you really get a chance to celebrate. So if a class has been changed to Synchronous for the fall, is it possible for it to change back in the fall? I think the answer to that one is probably yes. In fact, I think that would be true for many of our classes. Many of the classes that are being prepared for the fall by faculty are being prepared to be either partially or fully online. But if we have a chance at some point to have classes on campus in some way, then most of those classes can be changed to at least partially in-person classes. So I think the answer to that is yes. We're trying to be as flexible as we can about the way the courses will be delivered in the fall. Bottom line is, if we need to be fully online in the fall, we want to make sure that we're doing that in the way that those classes are delivered to you in the best way possible. So we're planning to be able to do them online, but if we're able to do some of them in person, of course, that would be great. Pausing every once in a while here because the connection once in a while gets a little bit flaky, but hopefully it's mostly okay for you. So a question about whether there are updates on the nursing program and in terms of admissions. Before there had been a little confusion about nursing admissions, and I hope that's been cleared up for everyone, that we definitely are moving ahead with those. And so there's no other news other than really just to clarify that, because I think that there had been sort of a sense that the admissions were on hold, or some students who would very likely be admitted were not being admitted, and it's really not the case. But otherwise, no, I don't have other word for you about how the nursing program will work. You know, that program is a little bit different because, like social work, it's a clinical program, and students have internships and clinical placements, and up until now, those placements have not been open. Now that there's opening up happening, hopefully we'll be able to get some of those clinical placements back on track, and students will be able to do them. So will Lehman be reimbursing for cap and gowns? Cap and gowns were rented from, not from Lehman, but from the contract organization, the company that provides them, Hearst Jones, and so refunds would be coming from that company. So all my classes will be online since I have all my classes in the Apex. I don't think we know that for sure. When I was talking about the Apex, I was really referring to the programs that are there, the activities, the sports that take place there. We do have classrooms in the Apex as well. And if we are able to have some classes on campus, it is possible that some classes would meet there. But I think if you have classes that are scheduled only in the Apex and they're not sports or gym classes, then it's possible that you could have some there, but I would plan on, at least initially, that those classes will be online. So here's a really good question. Can you talk more about freshman students and things that I need to know as a freshman? So that's a really great question. It's very encompasses many aspects of what you're going to encounter coming to Lehman College. You probably have looked enough at the program, the academic program, to know that when you come in as a freshman, you have general education courses that usually are the first ones that you take. And those courses cover the broad base of the general education curriculum, which is around 40 credits. And those courses cover a really array of things, all the way from science to the humanities to the arts and social sciences. So they're meant to cover a number of, actually 7 broad areas. And also part of that is core writing and quantitative reasoning curriculum. So that's the base. And so as a freshman, most likely, those will be the courses that you're going to be taking. I think one of the biggest adjustments that students make coming in as a freshman, it's not just true at Lehman College, it's everywhere, is that you're, as opposed to being in high school, if that's your most recent experience, you have a lot of ability to manage your own time. And for many Lehman College students, that's really important because you may be working and have kind of complicated schedule, have family obligations. But coming in as a freshman, you have a schedule, a course schedule. But outside of that, really managing your time and managing your study and managing how you pursue your curriculum puts a lot on you. It puts a lot of the decision making on you, and I think that's the biggest shift to college that you have. But one of the things that you should do and remember as a freshman is that when there's something you don't know, if there's something that you can't quite figure out, that's confusing, what your next step is, what you need to do, reach out to an advisor and look for help right away. Because the longer you wait to answer really important questions for you, the more you can get behind on something that could maybe easily be taken care of. So one of the things I always say to new students is look on the website, find out where the resources are that will help you, because we have lots of resources. Many of them are web-based or in person or virtually in person, but do take advantage of that. Take advantage of everything that's offered, because that's the way your experience is going to be the best that it can be. So, still a lot of questions about the fall and being online. And I think, if I have to generalize and just say, what are we going to do in the fall? I'd say plan on online classes. That's what we're planning to do. But I think there's a chance that we will not be fully online, that we'll be able to have some classes on campus. And to the degree that we can do that, we will. But I think you should definitely plan on, for most of your classes, at least part of those classes will be done online. So for instance, if you don't have a laptop and you can't get access to one, you need to go on our website and register for one, because you'll need that. And we want to be sure that you have the resources that you need so that you can succeed in your classes. So I see a different question that comes from a completely different area, but I think it's an important to answer. And that question has to do with a new task force that I've set up, or am setting up, that has to do with campus climate with regard to race and equity issues. This has been a topic of discussion on campus since the fall, really. And given the events of the last 3 to 4 weeks, those discussions need to intensify, and they need to become, much more part of the structure of what we're going to be doing, particularly in the fall. So I'm setting up a task force to map out what we will be doing, and I'm in the process of setting it up. The membership of that task force is not set yet. I've gotten a number of nominations, actually quite a few nominations for that task force, and both folks nominating themselves or being nominated. And I will be setting up finalizing that group and sending out invitations to the members of that task force this week. So how do I get in contact with an advisor? That's a great question. Here's what you should do. You should go to the website and you should look for a link that will allow you to do that. It's not hard to find it on our website, but do look there, because what you want to do is follow those links that are on the website for new students, and definitely get in touch with your advisor right away. That's how you're going as a freshman. You're going to register for classes, or transfer students. You need to have a session with your advisor, and you work out your schedule, and then you'll be able to register. You should email gps.program@lehman.edu for advising if you're a first-year student. Let me give that again, gps.program@lehman.cuny.edu if you're a new student. So again, how do I register for classes? Use that GPS email to get in touch with an advisor. You will only see, if you're a summer student, you'll only see, if you go to CUNY first, you'll only see the classes you're currently taking and registered for the summer. You won't see anything for the fall until you've registered for those classes. Now here's an interesting question. If I do take in-person classes, will I be required to wear a mask? The answer to that is yes, you will. Everybody on campus who is not alone in an office and not around someone else will be required to wear a mask at all times. You may have seen some of the information about masks. It was been one of the most confusing things, right, about the pandemic, is initially we were told, don't wear masks, save the masks for all of the healthcare providers, because there weren't enough masks, and that made sense. But it was also confusing because it suggested that masks maybe weren't helpful. And that was actually the information coming out of the CDC. However, what's very clear now, and there are actually studies that have come out recently that really show that wearing masks is really important. For instance, if a COVID-19 infected individual is in contact with someone, and we are saying nominally 6 feet, but really it can be 10 feet, it could be 12 feet. It really depends upon what the airflow is like around those two individuals. But if they're in contact with no mask, there's high risk. If one person with COVID-19 is wearing a mask and the other person is not, the risk is lower, but there's still risk. If the person that has COVID-19 is not wearing a mask, but another person is, that risk is a little bit lower yet, but there's still risk. The very lowest risk is if everybody's wearing a mask. So someone who's infected doesn't know they actually are infected with the virus. Somebody else who's not, but is in proximity, if they're both wearing a mask, then the risk gets to be very low. It's not zero, but it's very low. And so we're going to have everyone who's on campus wearing masks all the time. That's the way we're all going to protect each other. So another question here, when does the fall semester start? It starts on August 26th. And that's a good thing to remember, put it on your calendar, because we're so used to classes starting after Labor Day, right? And Labor Day is in September. But in CUNY, classes always begin before Labor Day. So August 26th this year. When is tuition due? I actually don't know the dates for that. So what you need to do is you need to, again, go to the website and look for that date. Obviously not one that you want to miss, so be sure and find that out. But I don't want to give you a wrong date, so I'm going to ask that you do that. When is signing up for fall classes starting? It has started. Lots of students have already registered for classes. So that's something that you want to be doing right away. Do it as soon as you can to be sure that you get the classes that you really want and need to take. So don't wait. Be sure you get your advising appointment, and so you can get signed up for the classes that you need. What tends to happen is the later that you wait to register for classes, the fewer selections that you have that are the ones that you really need to have. So be sure to do that. And by the way, I mentioned before, but we do have a very large number of classes. We hope to have pretty much the same number of classes available this fall as we did the previous fall. And we're expecting about the same number of students to enroll. Over the summer, you may have heard that we actually had a much larger enrollment for the summer than we did the previous year. That was true actually for almost all the CUNY colleges. I think at Lehman College we had almost 15% more students this summer. We don't know that will be the case in the fall, but again, just to reinforce that, register right away. If you're not enrolled yet, be sure you get enrolled, get contact with advising, and register for classes. So again, if you need to register, be sure that you get in touch with advising, and you can do it through that email. You can find that on our website. Be sure you get first of all in touch with advising, and then you'll be able to register and hopefully get the classes, all the classes that you need. So I want to thank you all again for joining me this afternoon, and want to welcome you again to Lehman College. And I hope that this has been helpful, that you've gotten some of the information. I know I haven't been able to answer all the questions that I've seen, but I think that I want to just keep directing you to the website to look for the information that you need. Use that GPS email to get your advising schedule. That's really the most important thing that you can do right now. Get your advising set up so that you can register for classes. So thank you all again for joining me. It's been great to have you this afternoon, and I am looking forward to having you at Lehman College in the fall.